AFE Magnum 4 Stage 2 intake is going to appeal to the 2019 and newer 5.7-liter Hemi Power Ram 1500 owner who's looking for form and function in one easy and affordable package. With its oversized high-flow filter and unique design, this is an all-inclusive intake package that will net you more power and better response without the need for tuning. A big engine like the Hemi needs a lot of air, and the more cooler air you can give it, the better. And nobody does additional airflow quite like advanced flow engineering, known to most of us as AFE. This intake will give you some serious airflow. The airbox in this kit mates up to the factory inlet scoop at the front of the truck, and it is larger than your factory box as well. Plus, it's open on the top to allow some more airflow. Now, you do get some weather stripping to go around the outer edge here that will help keep unwanted engine bay heat out from the filter and housing. Now, there isn't a bit of included weather stripping that will go around the outer edge of the top of the box and help keep out that unwanted engine bay heat. So this will feed a ton of cooler air to that oversized air filter. And oversized it is. This thing is huge. It is a 9-inch tall, 360-degree dry filter. AFE calls it their Pro Dry S. The dry part of the name means this is oil-free, which means low maintenance for you. And it is reusable as well, so unlike a stock paper filter, you can just clean this off and put it right back in. Now, AFE claims 99.2% efficiency from the filter itself, and given the size of this thing, I'd say that is probably pretty accurate. It's got a huge amount of surface area here with all the height, the deep pleats, plus this section right here in the top and center, which is something that you're not going to see on a lot of other filters. So again, this is going to flow a lot more air than your factory standard filter, and it will allow up to 49% more airflow overall throughout the system. All that is then routed into your intake manifold through the large diameter tube here. Now, like the rest of this kit, this promotes better airflow thanks to it being totally smooth on the inside. There's no disruption in airflow like there is with a stock accordion fitting. And because this is bigger and one piece and very solid, it'll make more noise too, which is my favorite part about installing a cold air intake. All this means that you will get some additional power and response. Don't go expecting huge power gains, as is the case with any air filter setup. You're not going to get a huge amount of power here, but you should still feel a difference in both power and how your truck responds when you put your foot down. Now, how much exactly will of course depend on what else you might have on your truck and a number of other factors, including the environment in which you drive. As I always say though, even though a tune is not required here, it is the best way to make the most out of any breather mod. The intake tubing and the airbox are made from roto-molded cross-linked polyethylene. This material is lightweight, it's heat resistant, and it's very strong. The filter is a 3-layer synthetic media, and it features progressive layering. So each of those 3 layers gets subsequently more and more dense to provide excellent filtering, efficiency, and dust holding. And again, since this is dry filter, maintenance is simple. You can just blow it out with some compressed air and you're back on the road. The filter also features a flexible polyurethane coupling for easy installation, and we'll talk more about that subject in a moment. Pricing comes in at about $475. That does make this a more premium option in the market. While the price tag isn't exactly small, you are still getting a lot for your money here, and it will make a noticeable difference in how your truck drives. It may also save you on maintenance costs in the long run, and for all those reasons, I call this one a great buy. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 1 hour to complete. Now, this is going to be a totally bolt-on setup that doesn't require any permanent modifications to your truck, and everything you need comes included in the kit, save for the few things you've got to reuse on your stock intake. But we're going to walk you through the entire process right now, show you what you've got to swap over, and how this is going to fit on your Ram. So for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you need a ratchet, 11 and 8mm socket, flathead screwdriver, and adjustable wrench. All right, today we're going to be installing an intake on our Ram. First, we'll watch a quick video how to uninstall a stock one, and then we'll come back here to install the new one.
All right, first step here, you're going to disconnect the temp sensor just by disconnecting that harness. Pinch and pull back. Next step, we're going to disconnect this hose, which is just to the left. You're going to push up on that gray locking tab from the bottom and pull straight back. Next, we're going to take a flathead screwdriver, and we're going to loosen up this clamp connecting the factory hose to the throttle body. All right, so now that we have that loosened up, we're gonna pull up on this tubing to disconnect it. Now what we wanna do is lift straight up on the airbox to disconnect. There's 2 little rubber plugs that these are in that are kind of retaining that in place. So we're just gonna pull and disconnect it from there. There we go, and we're gonna set this aside.
All right, now the airbox is out, we just need to take off a few things. So we're gonna take off our temp sensor. That's simply just a 1/4 turn and then just pull out. And then most of the time we need to swap over our grommets, so we're just gonna pull them out. There's 4 of them. They simply just pull out, like so. All right, now before we get our new intake in, we just have to do a little bit of assembly. First, we're gonna get our adapter pipe for our vent tube. So it's simply just gonna thread into our threaded hole in our intake. We're gonna grab an adjustable wrench and just snug that up. Doesn't need to be crazy tight. All right, next we have a 2-piece grommet system for our temperature sensor. So we're gonna get this in our hole and place. So we'll get our plastic insert in. That is a tight fit. Once you get that in, we can go ahead and get our temperature sensor in. You're gonna push down and give it a quarter turn, and it'll lock down over that tab. All right, now we have our trim that's gonna go around the top of our air box. We're just gonna start in the back here. Just push it down over this edge and work it all the way around. Work around all the corners and back around to meet on that back edge. You definitely can work it around a little bit just so it reaches and touches together. But that's good enough for right now. Now we just need to install our 4 factory grommets. We have 2 holes here, 2 holes here. This one's just a drain, so you can leave that open. Simply just snap into place. All right, now we can go ahead and get this in our truck. All right, so now we're at the truck and we're gonna get our air box installed. We're gonna get our 4 grommets over our 4 factory studs. It's nice and easy. You can just look down in, line everything up, give it a push. All right, so we're gonna get our coupler onto our throttle body. Now there is a smaller diameter side that will actually go towards the throttle body. Slide that over. Both our clamps are the same size though. So we're gonna grab our ratchet, 8mm socket, and tighten our bottom one down. It's just gonna help it not go anywhere. All right, so now we can get our air filter in our air box. Now you see this little lip going around here. That's what actually holds it in there. It's not that big of a lip, so it actually pushes back in very easily. So when you're putting the tube on next, you're just gonna need to reach in the air box and hold it in. We'll get that set in place. We can get our tube on and get our clamp tightened down. All right, so we have our intake tube. Like I said, we're gonna hold our filter and then get that over our throttle body coupler too. Might just need to work it around a little bit. Loosen up our clamp a little bit, give it a little bit more wiggle room. All right, that's seated in there nicely. So we're gonna grab our ratchet and 11mm socket and tighten our filter down. All right, switch back to our 8mm socket and tighten down our last clamp. All right, so last thing we need to do is put our connector on and plug in our vent tube. We have our connector there. Just reach under and clip your vent tube on until you hear a snap. All right, and last thing, we need our vent tube. So just get that lined up, push it in until it clicks. And that wraps up our install of our AFE Magnum Force Stage 2 cold air intake with a Pro Dry S filter. Color black for a 2019 to 24 5.7 liter Ram 1500. And remember, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.